Absentee voting. Absentee voting is a way to vote if you're unable or unwilling to make it to the polls on election day. There are two types of absentee voting: absentee in person, otherwise known as early voting, or absentee by mail, also known as by mail voting. Some common groups that should vote absentee include people who are in college outside of their home county, in Tennessee or in another state/country, people who are in the military, people with disabilities whose polling location is inaccessible, and people who are hospitalized or ill and can't go to the polling place. So if you want to vote absentee, should you vote early in person or by mail? You should vote early in person if you are going to be in your home county for the early voting period. For instance, if you go to college in Tennessee but in a different county from your home county, then you could go home for the weekend during early voting instead of on the Tuesday of Election Day. You should vote absentee by mail if going home to vote is inconvenient or does not make sense for you, or if you're facing some other barrier from physically making it to the polls. How do you vote absentee by mail? There are 4 steps to voting absentee by mail. 1. Request your ballot. 2. Receive your ballot. 3. Fill out your ballot. And 4. Send in your ballot. To start the process off, you will need to send in a request for your absentee ballot. Below this video, there is a link to the request form. Just print it out, fill it out, and either mail the form or email a scan or photo of the form to your county's election commission. The earliest you can request an absentee ballot is 90 days before the election date. To make sure it can be processed in time, we recommend sending in your request no later than 2 weeks before the election, but the earlier the better. After your county election commission receives your request, they'll mail you back your ballot. Once received, fill out your ballot using a blue or black ink pen and send it back to the county election commission in the mail. The election commission must receive your ballot by election day in order for your vote to count, so we recommend sending it in at least a week before election day, though again, the earlier the better. Remember that you must vote in person before you can vote by mail if you weren't registered to vote by someone on the election commission. So how do you vote early in person? Typically, the early voting period lasts from 20 days before the election up until 5 days before the election. You can vote on any Saturday in that time frame, except for holidays. To vote early, you can either go to your county's election commission office or to a voting location opened by the election commission. Voting early is great because you get to pick a time to vote that best fits your schedule and you avoid the long lines of election day. Absentee voting is super important for helping young people voice their opinions. So request your ballot or head to the polls early and vote!